I believe it might be in your best interest to very quickly understand the true and hidden secrets of the Genesis, which symbolically reveal some shocking truths for you, never known before, until now. In the first chapter, a spiritual earth is created without any humans whatsoever. Adam was not created until chapter 2, verse 7, and only as a spirit at that time. So, humans are not the image of man as stated throughout the churches, but the world you inhabit now is the man. In chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Now do not forget the second verse in the Bible states God is spirit. Man is a combination of spirit of existence attached to the womb of environment you currently call planet Earth. Man is the name of this world, which explains why the prophets and the man today referred to as Jesus claimed to be the Son of Man throughout the Bible. They recognized their bodies were created by the very soils of the world, named man. Ezekiel, chapter 2, verse 1, he said to me, "Son of man, stand on your feet, and I will speak with you." Daniel, chapter 7, verse 13, I saw in the night visions, and, behold, there came with the clouds of the sky one like a son of man. Job, chapter 25, verse 6, the Son of Man, who is a worm. Luke, chapter 9, verse 58, Jesus said to him, "The foxes have holes, and the birds of the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." Genesis, chapter 1, verse 27, so God created man, planet Earth, in his own image, in spirit as mentioned to begin Genesis in the second verse of the first chapter, in the image of God, spirit, created he him, male and female created he them. Remember that the spirit of the Father is conscious existence and the spirit of the universal womb is the mother, and forming together as one you get the universal spirit. The same applies in this world where the Father animates the world, but the womb of the world is the mother that nurtures existence within. Ever wonder why all of the world religions have retained female names such as Terra, or even Gaia to recognize Mother Earth? Let's quickly identify the trees shown to Adam in chapter 2, verses 7, 8 and 9. And the Lord God formed Adam of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and Adam became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put Adam whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Keep in mind, the Bible today refers to Adam using the word man in his place for religious deception, but it is Adam who is made in these verses. However, it would not be like some people would mix lies with the truth to fulfill their own agendas, would they? You will also notice Adam was put eastward in the Garden of Eden, which will be identified as the tree of life or the world of light, in chapter 3. In verse 17, Adam is told that if he experiences the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he will surely die. So leaving where he was from, would mean death to exist inside the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You as a human exist within the tree of knowledge of good and evil, it is this world. This world is the mythical tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life in chapter 2 is the sun, and this is quickly revealed at the end of chapter 3 in verse 24. So he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, which are angels of light in first command, and a flaming sword which turned every way, to keep the way of the tree of life. The flaming sword that turns every which way is the sun, which today in astronomy shows a flaming sword of solar flares, that is firing out in all directions, and the sun is the world which rises from the east daily. The other trees in the garden were symbolic of worlds throughout the garden of the universe. Remember, as a spirit of light one can project anywhere at will. Even though the Genesis is merely a symbolic tale, it is based like all stories upon a truth wrapped up and presented as a fairy tale for human acceptance. Now, as for the story of Adam and Eve, the very words printed in the billions confirm Adam is not daddy, but guess who is? The serpent who quickly gives away he is the Lord throughout the rest of the Old Testament. The churches never tell the truth, but this is absolute confirmation that the churches do not want to reveal the truth that human design is the offspring of the devil. The lies you have heard in television programs and the churches confirm this is truly a world that exists in full deceit. It's amazing that the human race overlooks this truth. Chapter 3, verse 13 to 16, and the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee, the serpent, and the woman, Eve, and between thy seed and her seed. Unto the woman, Eve, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. As you can clearly see, Eve is pregnant and the one being punished is the serpent. Coincidentally, 4 verses later in chapter 3, verse 20, it clearly states that an Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Mentioning nothing of Adam as the father. To begin chapter 4, Eve gives birth to Cain and Abel, and as the story goes, conflict in humanity begins immediately with Cain killing his own brother Abel. And what is important to recognize is the blood spilled into the earth is referred to as her mouth, suggesting the womb of the world is her. Chapter 4, verse 11 to 12, and now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength, a fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. The Genesis also confirms early on that all of human design is considered evil by nature, and as you have heard, the flood comes along. Chapter 6, verse 5, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Chapter 6, verse 11 to 13, the earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and, behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and, behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Now for a granddaddy of truth, the other shock is that Eve was not the last female to make sweet passionate monkey love with the serpent Lord. The story of the Hebrew icon Abraham, the historic figure that holds so much prestige in Jewish faith. The Dome of the Rock is the location where an orb of light called a UFO descended recently in Jerusalem. Where little baby Jesus Jehovah was found days later. Or am I jumping the gun? The Dome of the Rock is also the famed location where the icon of Israel, Abraham, was about to sacrifice his son Isaac to the Lord. Herein is one of the best kept secrets in the world. Isaac was not the son of Abraham, but the son Abraham almost killed for the Lord was Jehovah's. Genesis, chapter 22, verse 9 to 10, and they came to the place which the Lord had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. Genesis, chapter 22, verse 14 to 19, and Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. Now you don't think the serpent stopped fooling around with just Eve, do you? Let's take a quick look at the story of Abraham's wife Sarai, who becomes renamed Sarah and gives birth to cute little Isaac. And the Lord said unto Abraham, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her, yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations, kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face, and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said unto the Lord, O that Ishmael might live before thee. And the Lord said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Continuing to chapter 18, verse 12, Sarah laughs about the possibility of being pregnant at 90 years old, and the Lord responds in verse 14, is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Here comes the granddaddy of shockwaves, confirmed right off the bat in chapter 21 beginning with verse 1. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived, and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which the Lord God had spoken to him. The Lord visited Sarah and did unto Sarah as promised by the Lord, and she conceived. The icon of Israel was not the father of Isaac, but the Lord Jehovah, who was obviously the devil throughout the Old Testament. As the Bible begins with deception, the world today hears deceptions, and as promised in the Revelation, it will end with a grand deception. I would not get too excited, Muslim faithful. I tell you now, your Quran is an attempt to glorify this Bible while exceeding it through Muhammad. I tell you now that your scriptures identify the Lord as well. I warn you that the Quran states the Genesis was given to Moses by Muslims and the Psalms were given to King David by Muslims. And I remind you that Muhammad also maintains the Hebrew values in many of the scriptures, and that even he is a Hanif, one of the descendants of Ishmael, the son of Abraham. Your doctrines are no more prestigious than the billions who follow Judaism. Billions of you were deceived. Even those of the Baha'i faith who also regard Muhammad as a true prophet and manifestation of God are following a similar principle. No religious doctrine is better than the other, this is truth. And for the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Sikh religions, Followers in Zoroastrianism, all of you follow similar patterns, ones that attempt to develop an attainment of happiness inside this world. Those who also follow Jainism or follow Shinto practices in Japan, same application. You as well are being deceived by human concepts that copy similar religious concepts. I suggest strongly that human beings stop focusing on human concepts for human enlightenment. There is no need for practicing exercises in the concept of Kundalini Yoga to release the serpent power. There is no need to learn the harnessing of the chakras. Speaking of which, even the great Buddha is depicted as being protected by the 7 cobras, much like God Vishnu. You need to focus on the chakras of your spirit to achieve true enlightenment beyond this world.